It's 4:19 p.m. December 4th, 2023. This is going to be a card reading, I guess, because somebody out there wanted a card reading or needed one. I don't know, being asked to do a card reading, not by any of you people and your weird stuff. It's just something in the ethers. I'm also supposed to let you know this isn't about any of the drama, baby mama, baby daddy, none of that stuff. Like, this is genuinely, from what I've been picking up on, a reading for a collective of people or a group of people, a handful of people that are actually looking for advice to better their life. It's not about hidden words and meanings or what you're assuming I'm saying or what you're reading in between the lines with or whatever bullshit you guys come up with, okay? It's not about that. Like, this is genuinely to help someone that's going to click on this video to get the help they need or the advice they need, okay? So if that's not you, if you're not here for advice, please leave. If you're looking for some drama or information for drama, graduate high school. And the rest of the stuff I don't even care about. I don't even know. So we're here to help each other. If that's you, grab your drink and just relax, breathe deep, and talk to your guides. Listen to your own guidance. Do not listen to the voices in your head or what you think is your voices or your spirit guides' voices. Make certain it's not actual people sending you things you shouldn't be thinking about. Okay? Because there's a lot of that's been going on where people attempt to influence others' actions based on collective thought energy. Be aware of what's going on inside you, okay? Because I can almost guarantee you the problems you're facing aren't even yours. What's the core issue you're experiencing that you need assistance with? Spirit guides. I usually clear, return to owner, any disturbances, and anything that isn't ours. Clarify. Yikes. Hold on. If you're easily offended, leave. Someone here, whoever's watching, that needs advice. Someone among these people or someone you know. I don't know how this resonates for you. It's not my business. I'm just here to give you confirmation or clarity from the other perspective, the other side of things, another way of looking at it, okay? What it looks like here is that there's some pent up things to do with your sexual expression, what you enjoy. You might have been experiencing it. Let's say you were transgender. You know, you were one gender before, and now you're another gender, or you're a reincarnation. You were male in a previous life and now you're a female, or the other way around. Something has changed about the way you experience pleasure, or you want it to change. 34 and 18, it's almost double the 18, but it's like you're kind of holding something back. And it's not even yours. It's like other people's opinions about what or how you should be enjoying joy within you, pleasure within you. No, this isn't for anything shady or shitty. This is actual self with self. Okay? Get your heads out of the gutter. This is about sexual energy, but it's not distorted sexual energy. This is about someone, somewhere, someone's, somewhere, multiple people recognizing that there is more ways to experience pleasure than the way they've been weighed down with. And they've been unsafe feeling, possibly due to previous trauma, in exploring different ways that they find pleasure within themselves. It's like they've been too shy, too intimidated, too embarrassed. Something was maybe, someone could have been raised in a very strict heterosexual kind of family where everyone was heterosexual and everyone everywhere was just very unemotional. And they've carried that with them in how they respond in sexual situations or intimate situations with the self. So there's something else that you feel vulnerable with that helps you feel more at ease within yourself. But it's almost as if there's a shame behind it. Like someone heterosexual realizing they're homosexual, someone who's homosexual realizing they might be bisexual. It's some kind of a realization to something completely different, day and night. I'm also picking up on energies of people who have transitioned genders and haven't had intimate encounters since they began. So the previous time they experienced anything sexual was maybe in a form like that, or in a form like that, and they haven't experienced anything since the forms changed. This is a really intimate conversation that I don't feel like we should be having on the internet with people, whoever you guys are. I'm going to stop right here with this because let me tell you, the following card here is the crumbling and deep replenishment. There's so much light you can barely see. Sorry. So look, I'm going to trust my nickel. And I'm going to tell you what I think I'm supposed to tell you intuitively and spiritually. If this is you, message me for a private reading. We can go through this personally. I'll make a video and list it private and send you the email link. That way you'll be the only one to be able to view it. And we can sit in a chat room like this and I'll read for you and you can respond. That's the only way I'm ever doing private readings. It's really the only way I've ever done them other than record and send the link out, which caused a lot of trouble before. Because people were copying the videos and selling them and making money off of them as if they were their own private videos. So if you want a private reading, we're going to be doing one like this, where we're sitting down, talking like this, and you'll be the only one in the chat room. I don't want to get into this reading here anymore. whoever you are, there's multiple versions of you guys, like a lot of variations, both male to female, female to male, intersex, and people who are realizing they're gay, lesbian, bisexual, etc. This isn't the conversation we need to be having here. Like this. If you're going through that, you're going to be okay. Don't make decisions in a place where you're confused, and don't stress over it, okay? Especially if you're just beginning that journey. Not stressed over it at all, because it's just so much changes, and yet so much is the same afterwards. So sorry, he's being a little douchebag over there. He keeps trying to like climb into the windows and on the computer and sit on the mouse every time I'm doing this. So anyway, I'm gonna go do some meditating, sit down and really don't think, but feel. Don't feel the words. Don't feel the description. Don't feel the whatever, but like feel under the feeling. You guys hear that? They just don't stop. Look, he said it again. Even the birds are going crazy. This is the other message. What the fuck, you guys? From messing with dentists to doctors that I've been to messing with my bank, to messing with the neighborhood, to flying over my head when I'm making videos, having other people's teenage kids running through the backyard, pissing and shitting, tampering with my mail, tampering with my house, tampering with energies, sending spells and doing all that other shit, justifying death spells and, initiatory culties, sex things, and it's just like, this is life for you guys? That's embarrassing. And you want me to be involved in? Like, no. It's 2023. It's not the BC centuries. So even if it's not 2023 and some other age, it's like, how old are you guys? Grow up, bro. There were some other ones I heard today who in the energy streams and the ethers and stuff. There's no reasoning with some people. There's no reasoning with some energies. There's no reasoning with some whatever is above that. So if you're going through whatever you're going through, whether it's tradition or it's family beliefs or it's the way your friends and family are or your coworkers or your cliques, whatever, don't perpetuate that bullshit. Just don't. It's getting to a point globally where I don't even watch the news. I don't get myself involved in any of it. I'm literally by myself in this apartment every day. I watch some card readings. I watch cartoons. I play video games. I draw. I make jewelry. I paint. I don't get involved in this stuff. And people have tried to involve me. So I can only assume you guys are, hey, Mama Lit. I can only assume some of you guys are involved that you don't want to be. And I don't even know what it is, but it's the way I see these readings that are being posted online and these like thumbnails on YouTube. And the stuff I experience daily, just going to the store and the doctors, it's like, thank you. I'm still learning how to, feel like they're not absurd in my face because the dentist was part of those people that don't like me. So I'm waiting to find a different one. But thank you. I'm a little self-conscious about them still. I don't know if people could tell. Anyway, Yeah, thank you. Um, thank you. That's another thing. When was the last time somebody, because I was thinking about this earlier, and I guess we're going to talk about this before I go. Um, the country, the world, the solar system, how each planet has its own kind of archetype, right? And then there's gods and goddesses associated with it. I was watching something about the Babylonian, Sumerian, Anunnaki stuff, the ancient things with Tiamat and Anahita and like Zoroaster and all these like ancient beginning things, and the book of Genesis and Enoch and all that stuff. And in every single one, it's a mother goddess having her partner taken out, and then her children claiming what's hers and then screwing everything up. But in their screwed up thing, they've created something. So when Enki, Enlil, Ea, whoever like those beings were, I intend no disrespect to any of the energies. Henry, I swear to God, if you knock this lamp over or close this video, I'm going to just put you in a basket like this. Now you can go. Flick your tail to yourself too, buddy. Anyway, I can't help but my smooching. These planets and these people, and all of them, there's a really fucked up story that I'm trying to just be really kind of about. But holy shit, it's a messed up story. Like these people, these beings, in every mythology, not just in one. A cat though. Yeah, he's the little Henry, the little pipsqueak that I had a few months ago. Look at him. The one I got when they gave him to me at 5 weeks old, and I had to like sit here for almost 2 months just nursing him and everything. Bonkers. Yeah, he's gotten so big. Anyway, these stories really screwed the Great Mother in every single one of them. And I was thinking about this country, and in the versions of Tiamat and stuff, they make lands and continents out of her limbs. Think about that for a minute. The children of some being in every mythology of a great mother tear her apart and create something out of her pieces. Even the Gnostic demiurge stuff, it's like they destroy, they rape, they pillage, they plunder, and then they're like, oh, it's wisdom. Let's all breathe it in. Like, what the fuck? And then all the society and civilization has been like based on the fundamental core structure foundation of destroy the mother and father and take what's theirs. And I've been thinking about that for 3 days. Like, this is really what people think about? Like, this is really the mythology and history? Like, what the fuck happened? Because I was thinking about back when Frida Kahlo days. Sorry, I'm fidgeting with my hair. I'm nervous and it's annoying me. I've been wanting to cut it. I haven't. I've been thinking about Frida Kahlo days and how different things were, where they seemed, but they really weren't. And then I was thinking prior lifetimes before that, of what I can remember in these little fractured pieces. And it's like the same thing, the same oil slick on reality distorting things. But I can't seem to remember when it started, or if it's just always been like that. And when I'm looking at these stories and mythologies, and I'm going through channelings and meditations, I'm like looking back in there and I'm looking at the tapestries and everything. There isn't one point where things got screwed up. It's like a continuous echo of the same mistakes. And then the narrative seems to be a mother and father, a goddess and a god. Something happens to the mother goddess, the father god, or something happens to the father god, right? It's either Tiamat goes bonkers because she loses her husband, or it's the father god who has all the weight because the mother goddess is gone. Zeus and Hera, and like all these different stories. And then the kids, like, were the initial reason why all this started. And the Sumerian or Anunnaki stuff, it's the kids are so loud and having a party that their dad couldn't sleep, so they destroyed their dad so they can party. In the Gnostic one, it's Sophia has a kid without her dad's knowledge or something, like, and then she wants to keep the baby, but she hides it, and then that baby creates something, and it's like distorted, but it's only distorted because it doesn't know what the fuck's going on, and it's trying to do its best to make structure. It's like, what the fuck? And I'm looking at all of these things, and then the story of Jesus and Mary Magdalene and Joseph, and then like kings and queens and King Arthur and Guinevere and Merlin, and then the Druids. And then there was another video that talked about how Druids did sacrifices. And then I remembered a past life where I died in Stonehenge, and I was like, wait, was that a sacrifice? Like, was I a part of a sacrifice back then? Ew, gross. But I tried to remember even further back, and I remembered something else. Druids don't even cut an herb with a knife. That's one of the things of life, a respect for life. Among all of this stuff, despite the destruction, there's a respect for the life created from it in every one of these stories. But you look at this place and the way people are, or at least the way I'm being shown reality, and it seems like not only are people missing the loving mother aspect of reality within themselves, like how to be more motherly, but also that fatherly figure that isn't a iron fist, but more of a peaceful king. Like, it's missing. And then the kids who respect elders and life. That's been, where is that? Using myself as an example, I went through so much abuse and trauma and shit I don't even remember because of all the ways my mind has been messed with. And when I shared my story online, people attacked me even more. Day by day by day, with things I don't even comprehend. Directed energy shit, like psychic attacks, magic that I didn't even know was real up until really just a few weeks ago, after being like, wait a fucking minute. And it's like all this other crap, and now I'm just like, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can say. There's no way to fix any of it because it's not broken. It's just rusty. It's doing, like, the wheel of time has been doing the same thing over and over. And it was okay for a certain point. But that point is to teach this lesson to where it's okay to a certain point. That lesson hasn't been learned because the core narrative people have been told about everything about creation is mess with the mother and father, and the kids get everything to fuck it up. And that it has to be certain ways and certain things. Like a structured kind of 9 to 5, wake up at 6, go to sleep at 10, all these things, right? But then you got to think, where did that come from? Like, why would all that be sitting there? If we're supposed to be gardeners and librarians and caretakers and guiding each other, and if this is already heaven on earth, then what the hell is all this other crap that we don't need to be dealing with? It's almost like, you want to know the big funny part of it? It's like this entire thing is designed by a divine intelligence that it's kind of like the fuck ups in existence and the things you guys are seeing that you're like, oh no, that shouldn't be happening. You're not supposed to fight it. You're not supposed to yell at it. You're not supposed to attack it. You're supposed to alter and readjust. Because then you got to remember, we got to add quantum physics into this. We have to add genetics into this. We have to add magic and spirituality into this. We can't just have civilization with just 3-dimensional rules. It doesn't work that way when 3 dimensions are encased in multiple dimensions, and those dimensions are encased in multiple realities, and those realities are all interconnected. And then we want to make a little foundation here. It seems like a cancerous cell in source at this point. So the only way, from my point of view, to do this is to simplify it all. And the only way to get you guys to see this so that you can see this for yourself is to remind you, how are you with your parents? How are you with your neighbors? How are you with yourself, with your reflection? How are you with the people around you? When you see a homeless person, do you like get a thing of like, oh, don't touch me, dirty? Or do you feel sympathy and pain and want to help them? Or do you feel nothing? With the things I've been through, let me give you this example. The previous time someone told me to my face that I am loved, where they actually said, I love you, looking me in the eyes and telling me, was in 2016. Process that. So I'm not telling you this from a point of view of someone who lives your life or a similar life. I'm telling you this from the point of view of someone who the world purposefully wants to forget and not pay attention to. Because what I'm telling you kind of cracks the entire thing and says, wait a minute. You guys are yelling at a fucking illusion of life, causing fighting and problems and drama within your own lives by yourselves, by your own doings. And you guys accuse devils and demons and angels. And that's the other thing from the book of Enoch, how the fallen angels fell to earth and they were condemned, and then God is just going to burn them all at the end of existence. And it's like, God, y'all never even existed. And then, God wants to punish the women who slept with them and turn them into sirens and mermaids and then curse them into the sea. And then the damned their children and all this other stuff. And it's like, Jesus? Yeshua? Source? Prime creator? Like, of the entire cosmos, of the entire multi-existences of everywhere, did that thing? Like, oh, Mama Lit, I love you too. Thank you. You guys are like getting this, right? Are you comprehending the vibe? Are you seeing what I'm pointing at? The way we're perceiving reality is from a narrative of abusing the parents, abandoning the children, and blaming the children, letting the problems fall to the grandchildren and their mistakes when they're taught they're fucked up already from other two generations prior to them. And then it's like the world at large, Mother Nature, is sitting there holding it all up saying, Dear God, please help these children. And then people come down here from other planets and realities and dimensions to help, and you guys kill them, attack them, you pariah them, you say they're too altruistic, they're too this, or you make deep fake videos about them. You try to cancel them or get them to self-delete. You guys like do crazy coven shit and attack each other, or they're gossiping, like hurtful gossip about people. And it's like not everybody does this, but everybody's kind of complicit in it because they know it's happening and they're not putting a stop to it. So then it's like, what the fuck do you want your grandchildren to be raised like? And then people are sitting there, they're like, ooh, return to sender game, return to this game, return to, like, what if it's return to your genetic great grandchildren instead? What if the bullshit you're doing now to anybody, to yourself, to your sister, to your brother, to me, to the neighbor, to a politician, to a doctor, a lawyer you hate, whatever. What if that energy didn't come back to you in this lifetime, but it came back to your grandchildren? And you had to watch that. Like your grandchild suffering because of what you did to someone like me or to your neighbor. How stupid would you feel? And if somebody around you was doing it, how ashamed would you feel if you were side by side by that person's grandparent when that grandparent did that thing? And you were like, oh shit, I should have said something when that happened. And now you'd be watching some other person's child suffer. What does that create? A dehumanization, a lack of compassion, perpetuation of evil. Darkness isn't evil. Evil isn't evil. Life isn't evil. Good isn't evil. Good isn't the good. It's none of it matters. What matters is right here, right now, your choice in life, and the core beliefs you have of a deity, of a creator, of divine intelligence, of source consciousness. What part of that intelligence does imply or insinuate that evil behavior can occur from something that has evolved past 3 dimensions? Even photons and molecules cannot commit evil without the hands of man. Stop blaming gods. Stop blaming all the people who have been possessed by demons and entities. Stop blaming demons and entities because mankind's thoughts made them. Stop blaming fallen angels and Nephilims and whatever else things you guys created. Those are God's children too. Stop blaming each other. Just stop. The blame is in each and every one person choosing to think any stupid shit and allow any stupid shit to occur around them. You are caretakers of this fucking planet, of your life breath among humanity and all other life forms. Your hands were designed to create, not to kill. If they were designed to kill, you'd have two like a hook, like a crab. You'd be a shark in the ocean. You'd be a cougar in the savannah somewhere. These are meant to create. They're meant to heal. If you're not using them for that, what are you using them for? Your mouth, your face, your eyes, your ears are designed to translate universal forces: light, water, fire, earth, air, breath, existence, time, space, reality, crystals, minerals, vitamins, nutrients, bacteria, viruses. And you want to sit there with whomever or within yourself to hate yourself or to hate someone else. And then you want to look at a crystal display powered by electricity, which you have no idea where that even comes from, made from liquid and crystals and steel flowing through it. And you stare at it like a palantir, like a crystal ball, hearing words coming out of it like you are now. And these words aren't like the other ones you've heard before, are they? They're not, oh, beloved, everything's fine. No, it's not fine. It's not fine. It's just not fine. It's embarrassing. Your future yous might be very ashamed of your current you, which is ignoring what your past you did because it hurts so much. In the same thread, the current you is ignoring something you should be doing for yourself, which would bridge heaven and earth within you, making you a beacon of light or darkness, because even the moon rises in the dark. Darkness isn't evil. Evil is evil. And evil is a disrespect towards life. If someone does something wrong, you don't disrespect them in addition to what they're doing. You help them. You heal them. You show them compassion. If you know a narcissist in your life, you don't treat them like a narcissist because the entity is just going to feed off of it. You treat them with light. If someone goes to a hospital with a broken limb, the doctor's not going to break the other one and say, well, fuck both of you. Now go sit there and think about what you did. Or is that doctor going to put the bone back together and heal it and provide darkness for it and medicine, nutrients and minerals so that it heals? Now, what if you couldn't trust that doctor you go to because that doctor is being paid off? I couldn't. How do you think that feels? To sit in a doctor's chair or a dentist's chair while they have metal surgical tools in your mouth and you can't trust them because they have proven themselves to be bought and paid for by organizations that want to hate you or alienate you or control you. And I don't give a shit about them. They can do whatever the fuck they're doing. I don't care. It has nothing to do with me. But when I go to a dentist and I have to be applicable to that rhythm of hate, no. No. Because if it was happening to your children or your grandchildren, you would also stand up and say no. But because it's happening to people irrelevant to your lives, or because of people who are just mocked and made fun of, you guys are like, oh, it's fine. What if I looked more like my previous incarnation? Would it matter then? What if my face was different? What if my skin color was different? What if my hair texture was different? It was before I was attacked repeatedly. It was before my body was changed by equipment and devices I can't even describe. Before all the poisons, before all the damage, before all the everything. Nobody cared then either. So it's not a matter of skin. It's not a matter of gender. It's not a matter of religion. It's not a matter of structure. It's not a matter of society, secret groups, or anything. None of that. Because every one of them has a purpose. Maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's for someone else. But each and every one of them has to have a point within them where they recognize, all of you recognize, is it respecting life or is it disrespecting life? Morpheus, I remember you. How have you been? And thank you. I'm glad these videos are considered something beneficial. Because usually when I make them, I'm just like, I'm going to make a video about this, little thing. Somebody needs something. And then Sophia, I guess, up there is like, nope, I'm going to jump in here and just tell you guys all sorts of stuff to, knock sense into you. And then the like human side of me is sitting here going like, oh, Jesus, she's doing it again. But the source side or the channeled side, the message information side, like, honestly, you guys, I still can't believe I'm doing what I'm doing or that I can do this. Part of me still doesn't really believe magic or any of this stuff is real. So when I'm talking to you guys, I'm not reading from any kind of a script or pre-planned anything. I just sit here and I talk to you, and I look at myself to tell myself to. Because it's like, this has to be said. This has to be remembered. Shit like this needs to be noticed. Like, does no one else notice all these epics of creation are based on the destruction of the parent? Like, did we miss that? I'm so sorry to point this out, but holy shit, you guys. A bunch of people destroyed a mother goddess and made continents out of it. Remember in the beginning of the video when I was saying this? And America, this country, like, energetically, chakra system wise, it's, I think, the root chakra of the planet or something like that. Because whenever I see it in the ethers, it's like there's a red mist around it. But I don't think it's supposed to be a red mist because America is a Cancer sign. It was founded during Cancerian times, like July. So I've been thinking about this for 3 days now with them up there. And they were telling me to tell you something. And I'm like, I'm not getting involved in this. This is going to get into politics. This is going to get into stuff. And I don't even want to be involved in politics, though I'd probably bring some common sense to that field too. The word America. A, the beginning, Alpha, Cancer sign, the home, the hearth, the heart. Why is it in a red mist? Back to the word America. A-M-E-R. Mare. M-E-R. What does that mean? Oceans. Where in the solar system do we have more things with M-E-R? Mars. There's lots of craters. There's places where water used to be called Del Mar or of Mary, Mary. Okay? Mars used to be Mary, not a male god of war, female, home. Mary. Mary means star of the sea. Mer, e, ka. What does ka mean? Ka is another word for life force energy or sound for life. Look it up. So the word America, when I first heard it years ago, like 1980 something, when we were moving here in 1991, they were like, we're going to America. I'm like, the land of Mary's love? Like, that's the first thing I thought. Mary's love, the star of the sea and her love. And I've been looking at this country for years and years that I've been here, almost 30 years now. All the restaurants, all the clubs, all the movie theaters, the homes, the cities, civilizations, beautiful, beautiful. Could use a tune-up, but beautiful. But people don't remember what it means to be here. They don't remember what the sense of home, the Wild West, the people in Hollywood and California being beautiful and sun-kissed, the people on the East Coast with their scars and coffee and maple syrup and, the New York and the high rises and stuff. And then the Midwest, like the junction point, the unity point of the entire country, the entire Midwest being like a stitched seam connecting everybody together. Mexico and New Mexico and Texas and Kentucky and Illinois and, all these states, like the entire country to me in my child mind back then when I was 11 or 12 was supposed to be this glorious place. But it's like the more I've been here, I've been looking at stuff and encountering life here. And it's like people have it's kind of like living life without one chakra active. So when I look at this place, I'm trying to skim over some parts because I don't want to give you like the entire branches of all the information. It's too much. The whole point of it boils back down to just one common sense thing. The story, the creation stories, the way people treat each other, and what they think of the land they're on. I have to tell you this part because it'll make sense for the other one. So we're going to diverge again to another point. The story of Kuan Yin. How is it that transgender anything across the world has ever been in question or deemed taboo or illegal or anything weird when one of the first Buddhas in existence, still celebrated to this day, not just in this country, but all over the world, Kuan Yin is transgender? There were no two different names. He was Kuan Yin and then became she, Kuan Yin. How are you going to have a deity, a Buddha, placed in the eyes of existence, but then mock, shame, and put laws and legalities over people living that path? That same burp mentality is with people living in America and treating it like it's a shopping mall and not your mother's home. The word itself says Mary's love. Mother Mary, Mary, the star of the sea, also known as Mars, coming to Earth to help Gaia, Mother Earth. AKA, throughout all the stories, that character goes back to Sophia, which goes to Lucifer, which goes to the Aeons, not the biblical stuff, the higher level of it, the elevated version. Mm-hmm. Sophia and Christ. Yep, and a lot of people don't do that within themselves, yet they claim to be breathing the breath of life. It's like, are you breathing it through one lung? Because you even have two, don't you? Male and female. It's like, what's the problem? The beginning of this reading was involving someone who was, or someone's who like were experiencing sexual pleasure differently or wanted to, but they didn't want to. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking somebody wants to feel something sexually like as a receiver, but they've always been the top. And they're like afraid of it. And that's repressed in someone's emotions somewhere. And it's like it came up in the reading, but I didn't say anything. It's like, how can you claim to be a good man when you don't know what it feels like to be a woman to your wife? How can you claim to be a good husband or a wife, either one, to your partner when you don't know what sexual pleasure feels like to them? Like, and in the same token, the same destructive derp energy, how can grown-ups accuse and blame their teenagers and their adolescent children or whatever for so much without recognizing it's the karma of the parents and grandparents that your children are playing out in front of you? Again, to teach you the lesson of unconditional love and compassion, because you were also that teenage kid back then. Do you not remember? Like, you guys keep pushing the past away. How's that working out? That's one of the most hilarious things spirituality has taught people. Let go of the past. Nope. Write it down, record it, memorize it, cherish it, adorn it, personalize it, be honest about it. That way it's in your book of life that you at least were a beacon of truth too, even in your own little corner of the world. Instead of echoing the garbage that you've been taught just to keep damaging the genetics in your family tree. Remember, it goes quantum and genetic too. It's not just spiritual. This affects everything and everyone. And then people say, oh, well, lions eat, whatever in the deserts and they kill each other and stuff. They didn't until mankind did. And then they felt that echo and they behaved in the same way because mankind are the gardeners and the librarians, the caretakers. If you guys are going to do it, so is everybody else. If you don't like it, then why are you doing it? A mirror reality. And then the whole twin flame, male, female, etc. thing. What if you guys actually realized or accepted or believed Jesus Christ and Sophia were the same being? How many ways would that distort the story you've told yourself or you've been told? What if the sun gods that you know weren't just male? What if they were female first, but they had to swap genders to portray themselves as male because of the human collective, of the mindset of mankind? What if they were all actually bi gender because it's energy and it's fluid? You can flip back and forth. Does that boggle your mind? Does it boggle your mind that water can be hot or cold, but not both at the same time? Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Morpheus. It's not even like that whole story about what Sophia did isn't even accurate. Like, I'm so sorry. I've been a vessel and a channel for Sophia's stuff for longer than I can even, as long as eternity. I mean, me and her are like the Phoenix Force and Jean Grey at this point. And let me tell you, the story isn't accurate at all. And I don't want to get into it because there's so many things going on, but it's not a teenage girl going off to have a baby without her dad or her husband. Like, no. It's a goddess of wisdom. That is not it's not even an accident. It's not a mistake. It's not anything. It's perceived that way. And that's the problem. Because with that being perceived as a problem, it makes the feminine energy submissive to the presence of masculine guidance. It's just so stupid. Think about it. Like, if I'm gonna go somewhere, like if I'm the goddess of wisdom, an emanation from the emanator itself, in front of the emanator, with the emanator, the source of all existence, surrounded by other aeons, male and female, a legion of angels and archangels, do you really think wisdom itself is going to turn around and go, I'm going to pop out a baby? Take a minute. Like, do you guys really think about the shit you guys think about and read in these stories? Like, some of you obviously do, and like Morpheus and I'm certain many others. But like when you guys hear these stories being repeated, like cosmically titty slap somebody, because it's such an insult to the goddess of wisdom herself to say that she made a mistake. Bitch, what? Like, wisdom is wisdom. If you're perceiving it as a mistake, you haven't gained the wisdom yet. Boo. And wisdom becomes wisdom after suffering or experience, learning things. She wasn't just plopped out as wisdom. She's the part of the creator that learned everything and experienced everything, the infinite wisdom of divine intelligence made incarnate as the aeon of wisdom. That means no evil can come from it. And if it does, it's not evil, it's a lesson because it respects life. What doesn't respect life is evil, especially when it's done for profit. So, and it's the same thing of saying Sophia did something mistaken as saying Aletheia, the aeon of wisdom, or the aeon of truth, lies. Or that Christ, Yeshua, was violent. Just that's how insulting it is to say that Sophia, the aeon of wisdom, was dumb and went off and did something without her dad. It's also on the same level of ignorant. My apologies if you're offended, as because I don't know the full stories, but what I do know is from that place. It's also as ignorant as saying that God, the Father, and the Mother, the Source, would turn their backs on their own children or abandon them, or if they fell from heaven and led a rebellion, that they would be never again forgiven. They would be going against exactly who and what they are as God's mother and father of unconditional love. They would nullify their own self. How you can't be divine intelligence and infinite wise and omnipotent present and omni everything, omniscient and stuff, and have unforgiveness. You can't. So when you guys are going through this stuff, when you guys are blaming yourselves, when you guys are feeling fear and confusion, or you guys are listening to these stories of all this absurdity, just is the source you're committed to, you worship, you pray to, you go to, is it one of divine intelligence, or is it one of divine stupidity? Does it respect life, or does it disrespect life? Does it desecrate what is sacred, or does it sanctify? Do you bless, or do you curse? Do you support, or do you destroy and walk away from destruction instead of rebuild? It's like, oh, rebellions and falls and all this stuff, cool and dandy, whatever. But do you guys get the lesson in it? If God can't forgive its own creations or itself, how dare anybody on earth think that they can be forgiven? What I'm energetically allowed to say, not whatever this narrative and boys club thing you guys have going is, what I'm allowed to say energetically is that it's all part of a divine plan. Every single thing. the healings I've encountered, the ways I've been brought back from the dead, the way the world has happened, the way leaves grow on trees, the seasons, the placement of the moon, Saturn matrix, the matrix itself, the way the planet is, the way the continents are, the amount of water, the amount of pollution, the amount of negativity in the world. It's all exactly part of divine plan. It's just what it is, because there can be nothing on this earth that happens without the observance, not just of the watchers in the higher realms and all the different dimensions, but also of God itself and source energy and the entire multiverse. That means if any fuckery is going on in one part of the multiverse, the rest of it's going to know. Just like if a mosquito bites you, it's going to itch here, even though it's not biting you everywhere else. The universe is a being. And this stuff that's going on here, it's part of a divine plan. Every mistake, every tear, everything. The way you guys have been told the stories, the way you guys have been experiencing them and living them out. It's to teach you something, to show you something. And people have suffered. I've suffered. Everyone in some way has. Even Kuan Yin suffered and fell into despair at some point, and she had to take a new vow to, continue to help people on earth alleviate suffering. And still, we're dealing with all this stupid shit. So this is where people like me come in with these messages and say, hey, we've already been through all this thousands of years ago. You guys collectively have been dealing with some kind of a celestial PTSD, and nobody can pinpoint where it started. It's just bigger than all of us. It's bigger than this earth. It's bigger than the solar system. It's bigger than any galactic federation. It's bigger than anything. It goes all the way back to the emanator, the source, prime creator, the great central sun, whatever you want to call it. Because the energy currents going from one place meant to reach the earth have been diverted and tampered with. Example being, in human form, I'm supposed to get a paycheck, but it's been 6 years on YouTube and I can't even live stream on my cell phone because the energy has been diverted away from me for other people's benefit. And it's like that's being seen on a global, celestial, cosmic tapestry level. That there is a discord in the songs of the spheres of reality. And that discord isn't the stories, it's how people are perceiving them and what they're thinking. It's as if the America heart chakra, the Cancer sign of planet Earth, has been turned into a family that fights itself by the creation stories of attack Tiamat, rip her body apart, make continents, you boys take the countries. I'm sorry, what? Like, is it sinking in? Are you kind of like rubbing the sleep from your eyes and going, holy shit, we've been living a nightmare? Not because anybody forced you to, but because you perceived it as. And it fed that perception. It created a collective entity, a tulpa, a thought form, a god, a deity that feeds off fear. And you guys have been feeding it for thousands of years. Every time you're suffering, every time you're sad, every time you're crying, every time you're worried, every time you're blaming someone else, every time you're reading a lie and you're not telling the truth afterwards, you feed that being. And that being has nothing to do with the light or the dark. And it's not the demiurge. It's something mankind created, hence why they call it Satan. Because it accuses, pushes, it attacks, and then it causes it all to do it within itself so that it feeds off that energy. It has nothing to do with God. It has nothing to do with any of those things, even though they do. It's not something that God was like, I'm going to dangle this in front of your faces. What are you going to do now? Let's write that in the book of Job. Like, no. Humans created this because you have the power of creation. You have the breath of life. Do you not? 5 elements in your hands. Do you not? then use those hands, put them in the soil, and remind the earth that you're here to help her, not to be a reason why she has to take a flea bath. Because all these stories make no sense if you guys don't have the heart space open first. You have to remember the air around you isn't static and prickly, and you're not supposed to escape the matrix or just deconstruct the construct. That's fucking up reality. You're creating a void. What you're supposed to do is create peace, home, stability, a new Garden of Eden, an Asha, a heaven on earth, a utopia, a peaceful place, one where you have your free will, you have unique choices, unique selves, and you live in peace and harmony because you choose to, not because you're forced to. Who would have thunk? But what stops that? The stories of creation, Sophia, Demiurge, Jesus, being without his wife being without Jesus, or they're not even being one. The feminine being distorted or the masculine being distorted. The penis being worshipped or the vulva being worshipped, but not the heart. The third eye being open. Oh, clear, see clearly, and do all the magic and all this stuff. But it's like, what does it feel like? When you guys do that stuff from a closed heart space, it feels kind of dirty, doesn't it? Feels kind of pointless when you're giving gifts and you don't really give a fuck about the gift you bought or the person you're giving it to. Or when you go out to eat because you're lazy and you don't want to cook something, the food just doesn't taste the same, does it? But it tastes better when you grow that tree and you eat the apples of the tree yourself. There's a different feeling in the apple peel. There's a different feeling when you're going out to celebrate something or to just treat yourself for a meal. And you're enjoying the entire time, driving to the restaurant, sitting in the restaurant, seeing the lights, seeing the people, hearing the chatter. It's a whole vibe, isn't it? Now, the vibe of this country and these people and this world is disrupted. And it keeps going back into the point of your creation stories they're fine, but you got to look at them with open eyes. Because the creation stories are right there in front of you guys. And if you guys can't see, like, you're reading something, right? You're like, yeah, so that's what happened, huh? Okay, well, ignore what happened or if it happened or not. What does that story teach you? If it was a math problem and little Timmy went and got 74 watermelons and, ate 100 of them and then was trying to sell something, like, is it helping you have better humanity? Or is it making you think about how this story could have been better? It all goes back to kindness, compassion, truth, transparency, unity, family. It's like the Library of Alexandria. Can you imagine if the Library of Alexandria was gate kept? Like, you can't go in here, you don't have a library card, and you're ugly. Bye. Oh no, that's only for the rich people. No, you can't read. No, these stories, no, you can't have access to them. They're too true, so you can't know about them. You can only know a little bit because you can't handle knowing that because, I think you're dumb. No, it's okay. It's weird, isn't it? You have got to, in the most subtle way that you can, allow clarity to show you the 7 of Cups in your life. If you have to, sit down and really speak the words in your mind. Spirit of clarity be upon me. Spirit of clarity be around me. Spirit of clarity be above, below, and within. Keep saying that to yourself. Because the more that spirit is around you and helping you, the more you can see. And then you can call to the spirits within you of like compassion and kindness and forgiveness and real unconditional love and wisdom. Call them within you, around you. And then you're going to start seeing that the stuff that's been around you wasn't all love and light. I hope this helps. I hope this like kind of gave you guys a tough love kind of, because I'm not bringing this to you in a mean way. At least I hope you're not taking this in an angry or whatever way. It's just, think about it. Thousands of years, we could have been living a better life already. Thousands. And all it takes is people not being douchebags to each other. And everything else around, the organizations, the structures, whatever, they can do what they're doing, can't they? You can't really stop it, and you can't really it's beyond any of us. So what can you do? Be a better person. Be a better cog in the wheel. Be a better whatever. Be a better star in the sky. And if you're going to have problems with the country you're in, whether it's America or some other country, go back to the actual country in your mind and consciousness that you're in. Like, if you're in America like me, I think, remember the root of it. That way, the other shit that you think about it isn't really that accurate because you remember where it started. It was way before cowboys and Indians. It was way before Columbus. It was way before the indigenous. It was way before the Aztecs and all that. There was like a fern gully here, an emerald canopy. The heart space is supposed to be green, right? Why is the earth chakra, the Cancer sign of the earth, covered in red and smoke and dust and all this other shit? Why are there floods and storms and earthquakes and, crimes and stuff that have all a metaphoric reason for their existence? Floods, repressed emotions. Hurricanes, lots of angry words being repressed. Earthquakes, people not feeling safe. People not feeling secure and stable. Fires, people repressing a lot of fucking anger. A lot of sexual energy being repressed. Creation energy turned to destruction. Lots of control and stuff like that, then people don't really know what they believe in. They don't have a home or the God within themselves. Because when they pray, it doesn't feel like they're praying to a God. It feels like they're praying to a boss. I felt some of these prayers, so I hope you guys can remember what it feels like. Even Jesus Christ said, the Father, or also Father, Mother, or the Lord. Doesn't mean a boss. The Lord also means lady, mother, protector, provider. So remember these things. And wherever you are, break down the word. Chicago, for example, CHI, chi, energy, ka, energy, go, moving. Chi, ka, energy, moving. And it's in the middle of the country. If America is your heart, where are you in it and what's going on in this part of your body? In reflection to the country itself. Excuse me. If you're somewhere else in the world, if the earth is your body, where in the world are you and where does it hurt? What do you need to heal? If your body is your home and the front door is your mouth, the kitchen is your heart, your stomach, the bedroom is your gut, your stomach, your roots, not the place where the food goes, but your like intestines, your sacral and solar. What needs tending to? Stop fighting the world and what you guys have created. Stop fighting each other and just fix what you can around you and internally. Those feelings you feel that get you guys to do really dumb things, to get us all to do really dumb things, those feelings aren't your own. A lot of them is other people's projection, directed energy, something or others. And that can be in many ways, from magic to machinery to just regular radiation waves that mess with you. It can be as simple as ingredients you eat. Like if I eat MSG, I usually don't feel good. I kind of get a headache. Sometimes, not all the time. I've known people that say if they eat anything with the food color red, they get really hyper. It's like, are you aware of that stuff? Maybe it's time, you know? Now I'm gonna go because it's been an hour and 10 minutes again. I feel like I've been preaching to you for too long. So thank you for clicking the like button. I don't know how many people are in here or not, but it says 0 and 1. So thank you. I'm certain that it's probably not that. Anyway, remember, if you need a private reading, email me. It's TheRealStarKindler@gmail.com. These videos, I think, get uploaded to BitChute, but I don't comment on there. I don't have any access to that website, so I don't even know how they're ending up there. So if you want to get a hold of me from that website, either email me, TheRealStarKindler@gmail, or comment on a YouTube video, because I haven't seen anything you guys have commented on BitChute at all, or anywhere else. You should never be getting any messages from me on any social media platform anywhere at all. At all. Like, unless it's a smiley face comment I leave because it's a cute thing, or, it's a comment on here that I'm replying to. I'm never going to ask you for, any of that shit, information. Don't care. If you want a private reading, you email me. I'm not going to ask you for one, okay? I hope this helps clarify a bunch of stuff. And, yeah, apparently there's some stuff going on, like, about me in regards to videos and pictures that aren't me. Or they are, I don't even know. Like, I haven't seen any of this shit, but someone was saying something about it. I don't know. I don't know shit about shit. So whatever it is, I don't care at all. Like, the drama some of you guys have made, I couldn't even stoop down enough to look at it if I tried. I'd have to do like what is it called? Where they do the luau thing, where they like bend backwards and they have to go under the. I'm not doing all that. I don't care. Just take care of yourselves. I'm gonna go for real though, because I need to close this channel stream. I'm noticing how quick I've been speaking. If you guys have any tips about this, because I know there's a lot of you who are channelers too, and I've never been taught how to do this. Like, I'm fidgeting again, just asking for help. If you guys know how to slow down the transmission of energy through the way it's expressed so I can speak slower during channeling, please let me know. Because one, not only is it difficult to speak properly with these dentures because they're not fitted properly because the doctor was paid off. Two, I lose all sense of time when I'm channeling. Like, the human me isn't even here. The normal consciousness me isn't even here. It's just big me trying to figure out how to do this, okay? So go easy on the physical me. And if you guys know any way where I can, like, which button it is, what I need to eat or drink or fidget with to kind of slow things, I'd appreciate it. Because, oh my God, like, you guys have no idea the vibration I have to maintain daily to be able to tap into this stuff. And some of you guys have been like wondering how I do it. I don't know how I do it. It's just part of what I am. And others of you, like, there's been some who think I'm doing shady things. Honey, I couldn't do any of that stuff because it would be such a fall from this vibration that like I'd get bitch slapped by gods and aeons. So it's like I don't even watch porn. Like I barely eat chocolate anymore. I haven't like I don't even know if you guys see these videos or not, or who's spying on me or not. I don't even know. But those that do know, I'm literally the most boring person you've ever met. All I do is sit at home, create and fiddle with things and personalize things, meditate, and barely eat or drink, and then just create little artsy things, bracelets and everything else, okay? So just quit with the pointless drama. Now I'm gonna go. Okay. Love you guys. Please take care of yourselves. Stop fighting. Stop fighting. Stop fighting. Okay? Okay. Now the other me's gonna go, and you guys are gonna have a lovely night. I'm certain that. And if you need me, I'm right here. I think they already went through all that, so I'm gonna go now. Jesus, Sophie. An hour and 16 minutes again? I don't get paid enough for this. And I'm so hungry. Oh man, but let me tell you guys, total side note before I go. If you guys have anxiety problems or anything like that, go see a acupuncturist and talk to them if they're a good one. Like make sure they're good. And talk to them about getting your body ready for channeling. Like connect to source energy type of channeling, not entities. Because once you start going through that process, it really rewires the brain. You might go through a bunch of chaotic stuff, but once things click, or research it. There's certain things that can help you. I think one of them was called ayahuasca. They have these different studies they're doing in Europe, or they did like years ago with different psychedelics. I'm not condoning any of this stuff. I don't want to get involved in any of that. But there's methods, and medications and prescriptions do help. They actually do. Just make certain you're treating the problem, not the problem that occurred because you're ignoring another problem. Okay? I love you. Thank you guys for being in the chat and keeping me company. It was nice. Okay, bye. Jesus, I gotta fix this camera angle too. You guys have been staring at my profile all this time. Why does she do this to me? Did you know I used to be really self-conscious of my nose growing up? Well, now I'm on your television set with like my honker on the side. Hi. So if you're self-conscious about something, don't be. You guys have no idea how beautiful you are, especially when you think you're not. Take care of yourselves.